So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. There's the top of Lucky's head to another exciting episode of This Is Our Lives. So, looking at the map, I'm not going to give anyone any sort of idea of where we might go looking, but we're looking at bug out locations because if things hit the fan, we might not be able to bug in, which would be preferable, but might have to bug out. That's the whole point of a bug out bag. You bug out. Here's another arrow shaft that fell down earlier when I was making a video, and I had to get something down, and now all of the arrow shafts want to go flying. Ooh. So one place, there are things you need to keep in mind when looking for a bug out location. One, you want it away from any population center. Two, you want it away from any major roads. Because you can imagine what would happen in this area. If all of a sudden people started leaving the cities, you have people from Boston, Manch, Concord, Keene, Brattleboro. They would be leaving, and they would be coming through our area. Of course, they might get shot coming through our area, but they'd be coming through our area. So we need a place that is not in line with all those people, especially not the crazy people from Massachusetts. No, not everybody in Massachusetts is crazy, but
98%.
Yeah, 98% are. So another thing that has to be taken into account is if you're having to hump it, can you get there? You know, most people think of a bug out bag, they think 3 days. I'm like, 3 days ain't nothing. If you're having to actually travel by foot to a bug out location, you may not have 3 days. You may have a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks where you're having to go on foot. So we are looking for bug out locations. What we're going to do, you know, I'm not telling you the locations that we're looking at, but I actually looked at one location, like, you know, it's a touristy area, which would mean people who are accustomed to going there.
Where?
I'll tell you in a second. Who are accustomed to going there on holidays. In America, you say vacation, but anyway. That's one place many of them might go, because there are going to be cabins and hotels and inns and B&Bs and things like that up there. So that's not a great place to go, even though we're not thinking of, you know, a B&B or a cabin. If we wind up getting one, that's great, but we're going to basically wind up humping it into the woods. I'm estimating from the road 1 to 3 days. 1 full day of humping it, minimum. 3 days maximum. The thing is, this one area, I'm thinking there might be a bit of traffic in that area if things hit the fan. And there would be a lot of people going to that area, even though the population is only 1,000, 1,050 or something like that. But it's a tourist area, so that's not well, there are a lot of tourist areas up here. So it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to avoid tourist areas. The thing is, not all tourist areas have a major hotel, inn, cabin thing going on. Some tourist areas are nothing more than you stop your car, you get out for a couple of hours, you get back in your car, and you leave. Now, John, be nice to your mama. So we have to take things like that into account. Another issue is we have a nuclear power plant down the road from us. I would prefer to get as far away from that thing as we could. So that means moving in one of three directions. And I'm generally thinking one particular direction. But once we find a place, what we're going to have to do is drive around. Just go out one day, or maybe more than one day, and just drive. And then we're going to have to stop. You know, we're going to need a map. We're going to need a topo map. We have one for,
hard to find.
yeah. We don't want a place where people can just show up at our door, so to speak, because we'll have enough for us, and we won't even have enough for us, to be honest with you, because we'll wind up having to fish and hunt and all that. I mean, long term. So, you know, I could put together a sort of shack that would be comfortable even in the winter for us, because it wouldn't be huge, and it'd be insulated by, you know, earthen insulation. There's a book, uh, Shacks, Shanties, and Shelters or something like that. You can get a PDF version of the book. We actually have a PDF version somewhere around here. You can buy a copy. I think it's a Dover book now. You know, the copyright is public or whatever you call it. So it's like, I saw it at the Toadstool bookstore, but there's no, well, the ink from our printer, it runs, so that would, but look, I'm gonna have to find, we're gonna have to find a place where we both can get to, but other people are gonna have a hard time getting to, or at least, you know, we may have an easy way of getting there. If you look at the lay of the land, you can, you know, you look, you say, okay, well, you know, that's over there is difficult, but if you're over here, it would be easy to get to the same location. We want it close enough to a water source so we can get water. You want it defendable, which means we can see in all directions, or most directions. Um, we're going to have some sort of wood stove or chimney, wood stove or fireplace. That's going to produce smoke, which would be best at night rather than during the day. You won't see the flames at night, during the day or night, because it'll be enclosed. But you don't want the smoke during the day, because people can see it and they can follow it to some degree. Some people quite well. I also wanted to say something about a collapsing economy. People have been saying the economy is going to collapse in a month. The economy is going to collapse this year. The economy is going to collapse this spring or this fall or this summer or this winter. And I've been hearing that for years. Years and years.
You don't know when it's going to fall.
Right. You don't know when. So it's not really a collapsing economy that I'm so concerned about. It's civil unrest. It's police that are essentially soldiers in the streets. It's people being arrested, people being picked up for no reason. People like my wife and I are, you know, we're targets because of our views, because of our actions. So we need a place to go. The thing is, it's good to have more than one place to go. But
Well, I think part of Obamacare is to target so you know who's sickly and weak and who to exterminate.
it could be, very well, could very well be. So, you know, I'm worried about my mom getting proper medical care now that Obamacare is in place. I'm afraid they're just going to decide, you know, she's too much of a burden on the system, and we can't have that now, can we? And they're going to stop her care.
We can't bring her up here.
No.
I don't know how the hell we get her up here.
No.
Well, that would be a chore.
Yeah. She'd be, oh, she'd be like, I don't know you. You're going to do something to me. If she gets that paranoia thing going sometimes. I don't know these people. Anyway, she has Alzheimer's.
Maybe
But
just give her a few Seroquel.
yeah.
Talk.
Yeah.
Here, have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Make it 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because she'd fight everybody to knock her out. But
She'd sleep all the way.
yeah. But
Like, hey, look.
So it would be good to have a few short-term places to go to and a couple of long-term places to go to. We have to do something about our prepping supplies insofar as the food.
I think we need to work on more long-term stuff.
Yeah. We need something to store it in other than what it's in. Because what it's in, any sort of mouse or rat or anything.
What do you mean, like metal?
Yeah. Or anything that'll keep critters out of it. Because right now they just eat right through it. That's why I'm afraid to move it, but it has to be moved. It's taking up too much room. And like, I don't remember the lady's name. She wrote a book on poverty prepping. I think that may be the title. You spend $10, $20, $25 a month on your food supply. Most people can afford that. We can afford that most months, not every month. But I definitely have to work on my wife's bug out bag because it's too heavy for me. Way too heavy for me. And if it's way too heavy for me,
we're gonna have to steal a mule then.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something. Now next month I plan on doing a dry run. I'm probably just taking the assault kit, not my bug out bag. Although I might take both. The initial dry run is probably going to be a relatively easy terrain. The reason for that is I just need to see what kind of shape I'm in, which isn't good. I know that much. I need to see how things work. If things don't work on easy terrain, then they're not going to work on rough terrain. So I have to take that into account. At this point, I pretty much have what I need. We need to now work on the rest of my wife's things. You don't need a huge amount of stuff, but it's not all of it's not that cheap. Things like a signal mirror. Go to the dollar store and buy a mirror. That's all you have to do. You don't have to spend $10 on a aluminum mirror. Go to the dollar store, buy a mirror. Go to the dollar store, buy toothpaste, toothbrush.
You don't have to have the name brand expensive shit.
Yeah, you don't need all that. And I would like us to be able to get. I would like to be able to get us a cart or wagon. Let me see if I can find one in here real fast.
You know what we need? Should get us like a kids wagon.
Yeah, a wagon.
They've got them at Walmart every so often. I wish Walmart still had layaway.
Me too.
They had to go and fuck that up.
I think they redo it every Christmas now, but just for Christmas.
Yeah. They couldn't make enough money off of it. They were probably sick of fighting with people,
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it, folks. I might not be able to find it. There we go. I would like this wagon right here on top, although I would prefer it be higher up off the ground. I don't know how well you can see that. You see that? Here's one on the bottom that's one guy carrying a bag and one guy in a wheelchair with a bag on the back. That's like a baby stroller, something that's akin to what we do have, but it's not for bugging out. Wouldn't last long bugging out, frankly. But that one on the top, that would be excellent because we could really carry a lot that way. A little bigger, a little higher off the ground would be nice, but that's a nice uh, little cart. It says beefy off-road wagon. You could lash things to the outside, to the inside. Another thing I'm thinking about is what they call a pioneering kit or pioneer's kit. Um, with that, you would have tools where you could actually build yourself a cabin. I mean, you could actually build some things, and look, we can buy a lot of that stuff at the junk store or at the Red Barn, the Red Shed, or the what used to be the Red Shed. You're what you would pay 30, 40, 50 bucks for at the hardware store, you're paying $5 or $10 at the Red Shed or the junk store. And some of that we might be able to get free. One thing I'm trying to get is rope, climbing rope. I put it up on FreeCycle requesting it, but nobody's offered yet because of our terrain.
What do you want, like jute or
Climbing rope? No,
what is it made out of?
it's synthetic.
Oh, it's like nylon.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Probably. Have you looked on Amazon?
Yeah, but it's expensive.
Yeah, but Google it and then do shopping.
Yeah, well,
on Google and then do shopping because that brings up all the prices and options and
like
look on
150 bucks.
look on eBay.
Well, I can do that, but you don't want one that's too used because
And
then.
Quibbits.
No. So, climbing. Sorry about my hair, people, but I am part Sasquatch, Anyway, so I guess I can't get the hair. That's my beautiful wife in the background, by the way. We would have to do some climbing, and I used to rock climb, but I never used protection, and I never did technical stuff. I never, used ropes and stuff like that. So there's a lot I don't know, and what we would be using now. Get a rope, good climbing rope. I'm thinking like 11 millimeters, I think it is, a 10 or 11 millimeter, a nice beefy rope, and then get ascenders because if I know ascenders, it's like time consuming because you go so slow. You put one up and you lift your leg at the same time, then you push the other one up and you're lifting your leg, and you keep going up and up and up. It's time consuming. But let's say you need to get into the second floor or third floor of a building. Hey, that's the way to go, right? Climb up there. Again, ascenders are slow going unless you're used to them. But I never used an ascender. I rock climbed. I didn't mountain climb. Never mountain climbed. And I haven't backpacked for decades. 20, 25 years maybe. So, maybe 20 years.
Socks.
So, I'm out of shape, and there's a lot of stuff I've forgotten, and
you ain't the only one.
So, what I'm thinking of is we should find a place where we can go and hide out for a week or a few days. And that won't be much of a shelter. It'll just be something. And then from there, no more than approximately a week to the primary bug out location. But if we have a temporary location, short-term location, we should have multiple locations, not just one or two, but 3 or 4 or 5, because you don't know what you're going to be able to get to, because you don't know the situation. What if the roads are packed? And as soon as you cross that road and go up into them woods, people start following you. Hey, they know where something's at. They're gonna, you might get shot if you follow.
One thing I don't like about this area is there's no little roads, like side roads and everything. It's like you've got very few roads up here.
So, I have some ideas about where to look, but like I said, I'm not going to say because I don't want everybody to wind up looking for us or our stash. So,
I wish we could rent a place where we can have animals, like a small farm or something.
that would be nice. Because if we could have like a milk cow and some
Well, if we
chickens,
could get some alpacas or something that can be used for pack animals,
you know,
I don't know how much weight they can
more than we can carry.
carry. Some people scream, oh, they shouldn't carry more than their feet. I'm like, oh, bullshit, they can carry more than that.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, what the hell, they use them in, I think, Argentina?
Peru, Argentina,
Yeah, in the
Chile.
mountains for pack animals.
Yeah. So anyway, if anybody has any ideas, suggestions, comments,
They
please.
seem to come in all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
I've seen short ones, tall ones. Like, hey.
And if you're going to get something like an alpaca or a llama, you want to get one that has a coloration that's going to blend a little better. Like you get a white one for the winter, but then he's going to stand out, you know.
Well, you put a blanket or something over him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So any ideas, suggestions, comments, please feel free to let me know because we're looking for whatever help we can find and whatever help we can give you. Thank you. Good. Have a good day. Bye.